Hi guys, hopefully this finds you very well. My name's Paul, this is Plan Z, and this is the RC-600. I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about the noise suppression, and what I found when I started engaging things like the compressor, the compression. I'm having a problem with my shuns tonight. So hopefully this finds you well. Now, I've discovered that to get this thing to work for the way that my brain works and the kind of music that I do, I've changed how I lay out I'll talk about the modes for a little moment. What I found was I did originally set things up. This is now my mode button. So the button that's there, I've moved to here. And the two buttons that were there have been moved to here and here. So this is my all start stop. This is my undo. And this is my mode. And I did have it so you could click through the three. Yeah, but I've set it back up so I hold. I'll tell you for why. Just while I'm working, I want to try and work and not add any more pedals to it for the minute. And I'm going to go up and down using these two for the minute. And then I'll have all my effects or whatever assigns I want to do there. This is my mode button again. I click back. But what I was finding was to click, like if this is my play stop screen. And when it's red, this is my record screen. And this is track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So what I was finding was to get from play to record, and if I made had to for whatever, and I was finding in a session I needed to kind of cycle back to play very quickly, I couldn't. I had to click it twice and go through the effects before I got to play, and it's just much easier for me and my feet and my like I have problems with my back and stuff, so it's a lot less footwork for me, I found. Now that might not work for you, but I'm finding it works for me. Now the thing I want to talk about is the noise suppression. At the moment I'm bypassing the looper, and I'm just going to hit one of my cymbals. Okay, and it rings out. I'm now going to engage the looper. Now if you're in headphones you'll have heard it sounded different. I'm just going to pick up the bass. Going to bypass the looper again. I'm going to engage the bass with a reverb. So, I'm now going to do that going through the looper. And what you can hear is the noise gate or the noise suppression is choking the reverb, okay, on the input. Now if you're an acoustic guitarist, you might need this noise suppression, but if you're putting anything that rings out and has those kind of dynamics before your looper, you want to address the noise suppression. So let's just zoom into the screen. So hopefully I can get that to work. Hopefully we can see enough. Now you want to go into the top left button menu, yeah? And we're going to go into the input. We're going to go to dynamics, and in here you've got compression and NS, which is noise suppression. Now I've turned it off for all of these. I'm not using any of these, but in the next page I've left it on as it comes as factory. So the noise suppression is on 40 when you come as factory. So I'm going to turn that to 0. I'm going to come out of there because I want to show you something in my output. But before I do, let's just do the same test. So we're bypassing the looper. Lovely. Lovely. My cymbals there are ringing out. So that noise suppression there, watch that. You'll need to set that for the type of instruments you're using. My drums are samples on an octapad. My bass is running through a GT1000. Okay, and my guitar does, so it was affecting all my wets. Now the other thing I did is when you go to the output, I've gone into Master Effects and I've just turned my compression on to 1. But when I did that, I'm now in the mixer, When I did that, I turned my output, so this is the one to watch here. I turned it down to 95. I'll put it back to 100. Because what I found happened, it just took it a little bit too there was too much of a difference between when I was bypassing and when I wasn't. So bypassed. That's louder there. So I just dropped it by 5 so that my music is kind of compressed in the master output of the looper. So when I put drums, bass, guitars, it's all glued together. We'll do a little jam in a second just to test it. But when I bypass the looper, I can still cut over it. Does that make sense? And I've not had to adjust any other levels. Now, the only other things I have adjusted is in my tracks. So in my patches, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save, hit save, and boom. Right, so the other thing I've done is in the patches where I'm putting in guitars, I've dropped the volume a little bit to, I can't remember what I did. Hang on. Oh, it's not in there. I can't remember where it is. I'll have to do that in a separate video. But I basically dropped the volume a little bit for the guitar ones so they weren't fighting with my lead guitar. So what we're going to do is we're just going to mute that bass for a moment. Now I'm going to be using my hands to trigger the looper, so this won't be ideal. But what we'll do is now let's just pull out from there so we can see the looper. And what I'll do is I'll put in some drums, some bass, and we'll now hear how that sounds compared to some of the previous videos I've done. And hopefully it will be punching a bit more with this compression on, and I'll still be able to cut through with my guitar. Where's the drumsticks? I'm going to bring in a little bit of bass and percussion on the RC-505 when I hit my button. So there's my undo, so I hit my undo, and I can go back to record. So I was just thinking timing could have been better. Heard the compressor jump a little bit. What I'm going to do is once I put the mix in, I'm going to play with the compressor. Let's get this bass on. Sounds like it's working well together at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start putting in, I think maybe GT1000. with it off. Okay, so the next thing for me to work on will be my arrangement of signs and things for my little jam. Okay, I'm going to end that there. The next thing for me to start looking at is how I can make the mixes more dynamic and things like that. But I'm going to be looking at things as I go across the sessions. But yeah, that's I think I'm going to leave my compression on 5 there. I don't want it too compressed, and I think I want it to breathe a bit more and not be so squashed. It sounded quite squashed in here. But we'll see what it sounds like in the playback. Hopefully you found that useful with your wets before the RC-600. I'll catch you later. Bye bye.